I've gone 3 minutes overdue already. I'd like to bring on Andrew Priestley. Stand up, give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a seat. So I've got 30 minutes to change your life. That's it. That's all they've given me. Listen, JP says it's not rocket science. It is rocket science. So I'll give you the science, okay? So what he's talking about, okay? I'm a scientist. So I work on what I can see and what I can observe, not what I imagine is going on, okay? So think of it like this. What basically you're learning in this room is about performance, okay? And stress. So when you get people who are really talented, those are the two things they're grappling with all the time, okay? And I wish I invented this, I didn't. But it's a really good theory and it's just the best way of explaining it. This is actually called focus. Okay? So what happens is if you set really crap goals down here, okay? This is low, low, right? This is high performance, low stress, high stress. If you've got low stress, your goals aren't big enough. So number one, think bigger. Because I can guarantee whatever goal you set for yourself, you're not going to hit it. So you may as well set a big one. You'll always fall short of it, right? So if I'm working with business clients, I try and get a 300% shift in what they're doing. Now, if they get an 85% result, they've exceeded. Most people think, I'll try and do 10% better, right? So set it really big. You'll always fall short of that. That's fine. Just accept that. But if you set little goals, you'll fall short of those. Do you get me? Okay. So if you've got crap goals down here, it's not going to challenge you enough. Over here, can you see what's happening? You're way too worried about it. It's too stressful. So when JP talks about flow, that's where flow occurs up here, right at the top. Right at that top. That's where peak performance lives. So that's when you're right in your zone, you're doing what you want to do. Okay? So you're looking for more of these states. This is where time disappears and when you're totally immersed in what you're doing. And you get good at what you're doing. Okay, so I just thought I'd say that. Also, listening to some of you talk this morning was really interesting because a lot of you are saying, that's where I want to go. This is where I want to go, and I see you doing this. You're going that way. I'm listening to the language, the way you describe what you're doing. See, that's where I want to go, but I'm going that way. And you've got to catch that. You've got to be present to that. Otherwise, you don't get to show up in your own life the way you want. Right, so you need to catch that, pay attention to that. If that's where you're going, it's binary, that's where I'm going. So don't listen to any arguments, that's where I'm going. Go that way. Where do you want to go? Yeah, so I'm going to talk to you about money. Okay, so because we're talking about money, let's do the real deal. Let's not talk about it, let's do money, right? So everyone take out your wallet. Get your wallet. This is audience participation. That's everyone in the room. Take your wallet out. Don't spectate. I don't want spectators in here, right?
I don't have a wallet.
Yeah. Yeah. Get your wallet out. Get your wallet out, right? And whatever I get you to do right now, do it really quickly because he's only given me 30 minutes. Right? So you all get your wallet. Open your wallet up. Look at it. What do you see? Cards. No, you don't see cards. Yeah. Gods. You see gods in there. Put on the brakes, man. Gods. Brakes off, man. Okay? So you've got gods in there. Okay? What do you see? You see debt. That's what cards are. Cards are debt. So every time you open a wallet, what do you see? Debt. That's what you're reinforcing all the time. Right. Okay, now, if you've got your wallet, take out leave the coins. I just want the cash. Take all the cash out of your wallet.
You're not having it, all right?
So isn't it amazing what shows up? Take the cash out, hold the cash, put wallet in one hand and the cash in the other. Everybody get the cash out. Now, who already has going, I haven't got any cash? Who's worried about the fact you've got no cash? Great, good. So put the cards away. I don't want cards, I want cash only. Cash only, right? Just put the wallet down.
I have euros too.
That's all right, just cash. Now here's what I want you to do. Do it quickly. I want you to pass your cash to the next person. No, this way. It's all going to go this way. That way. Just once.
Just once.
Just once. Just once. Otherwise, this guy is going to go home. Have you all got your cash? Good. Okay. Now, I'm just watching what you're doing. Some people are already thinking about handing it back. I didn't tell you to do that. I said hand the cash to the person next to you. Okay, firstly, who's ended up with more cash? Look at the smiles. Who's ended up with less cash? Oh, look. Look, I love the nervous smile. I hope he's going to ask to... When's this game over? Who's ended up with a lot more cash? Who's ended up with nothing? Oh, look at the fun. Where's my money, right? See, it's just energy. JP talks about energy, he even measures energy. Right? Where do I want to go? Where's the energy for where you want to go? Yeah. So you've got this cash, right? Now, what I want you to think about is this, okay? And you don't need to share this number. Whatever you do, don't share this number. Think about it. I want to buy an hour of your time. You know, you're all really smart people, and I want to come and buy an hour of your time. How much are you going to charge me? Write the number down, quick. I want to buy an hour of your time. What are you going to charge me? Did I have water? Or did I leave it at the back? Oh, brilliant. Okay. Yeah. Come on, quick. What's an hour of your time worth? Got it? Yes. Okay, multiply that by 8. You've got to fall in love with numbers. Okay, I'm a scientist. I measure stuff, right? My background is industrial organisational psychology. Okay, that's what I'm up to. Okay, you've got your number, 8 times that. Right? You know, there's 3 types of people in the world. There's those that are good at numbers and those that aren't. Have you got a number? Yes. Okay. Right. So here's the thing. Right. When you've got that number, okay, that's your day rate. So carry your day rate in cash. Carry your day rate in cash.
It's impossible.
I don't care. Carry it. Carry your day rate in cash. Now, every day, everywhere you go. So I have 3 suits, and in each pocket of one of the suits is my day rate. Okay? Because how are you going to look someone in the eye and ask them to buy something or do something if you've got no money? There you go. See, there it is. Carry your day rate. See, the reason I say that, the science of this is when you were really, really little, and my grandson, right, he's just getting the concept of money right now. This is what you looked at. You didn't look at gods. It wasn't cards, it was cash. So there's a very, very, very primal part of your brain, the reptile part of your brain that wants to win the lotto. That wants to sit on a rock. You know, you look at reptiles, I mean, from Australia, yeah, they, tongue goes out, catch the fly. They don't want to do as least amount of work for the most amount of result. And that's part of the problem I see with people around money. They want to do as little as possible. That's not the way the world works. Right? The way the world works is hard work. People say, you're so successful, Andrew. No, I just work harder than you guys. I get up earlier, I stay up later, and I do the hard work. That's how it works. But the point is, this tells you a part of your brain, wow, this is actually, I don't need to worry about stuff, because every time you look at that, there's the cash. So get your day rate. Now, if it's a lot of money, carry 1 hour of your day rate, and then build it up to 2, and then build it up to 3, until you can get it up to 8 hours. Get it? And carry your cash. Because the part of your brain that responds to money, when you're talking about success in that, you've got to make it as real as that. You see that and you go, yeah, okay. After a while, you don't even give a rat's about this. It's just paper, really. Money's just an inanimate object. It's just paper. That's all it is, right? We make it more than that it is. And in your wallet, okay, carry a never spend 20. That's been there for a long, long time. I've always got money. Always got money. Get it? Some people are still looking to see when I'm going to end the money bit, where you get to hand the money back. So in 2012, we're just coming out of the global financial crisis, and the banks are having a hard time because they've cut back lending to businesses because they're worried about zombie businesses. These are businesses that just simply exist to repay loans, and they were really worried about that particular thing, right? So I went to 2 summits. I went one to a banking summit, and both were held at I think Boris Johnson was the Lord Mayor at the time. It was at the Lord Mayor's office, and so there was a banking summit, and then there was an MBE summit, which is micro black ethnic businesses. And the question that was being asked of the banks is, why won't you lend us money? Right? The banks have got plenty of money to lend. But the chief economist for the NatWest and also for the RBS said the same thing. He said they particularly looked at people between the ages of 18 to 28. And they said, what's going on with these people? And this is what they told me. 18 to 28s on average spend 130% of their take-home pay every week. 130%. Now, how do they do it? On credit cards. That's how they do it, right? Secondly, they owe $8.3 billion on credit card debt. Okay? And the UK, in just that demographic alone, pays £141 million in interest per day. Banks love you. And the thing they love about you is your lack of impulse control. Your inability to delay gratification. That's what they love about you. That you just cannot resist spending money. Okay? So on the basis of that, my daughter came to me and she said, Dad, you're really good with money. I'm old school. I was brought up in a time when, if you wanted something, you saved up for it. My parents did not believe in credit cards. They didn't believe in taking loans. If we wanted something, we worked for it. If we wanted pocket money, we went out and created it. So you just got good at doing that. It's old school stuff, right? And my daughter said, Dad, you're really good at making money. How does it work? And I said, well, I'll explain it to you. And then that started from about 2012 to about 2016. I started to research that. So I read about 143 books, okay? And I did about 43 courses, and I looked at about 389 websites, all on money. And being a scientist, we do meta-analysis of stuff. The more you look at, the more patterns you start to see. So I said, what's happening around money? And I started to find, after a while, the patterns don't change. They're very, very simple things. So let me tell you what's actually going on with money so that you get it, so that you can change your life in an instant, right? Or just around the money piece. So basically there's 5 things that happen around money. Number 1 is you've got to earn it, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, earn more.
Yes.
Okay? Number 2, you've got to spend it. Number 3, you've got to save it. You've got to invest it. And the one that's often left out is you've got to give it. So a really good thing about success is if you're doing well, do good. Get it? So I'm the chairman of a children's charity that deals with trauma, and we're constantly going to companies and asking them, you're doing really well, can you help us deliver trauma and therapy to children right across the UK? You would not believe some of the stories that come across my desk as the chairman of that, right? So earn, spend, save, invest and give. So straight away, you could do a thing on a scale of 1 to 10, what's my earning, 1 to 10? You can do this in your own time, but homework. On the scale of spending, 1 to 10, saving, 1 to 10, etc., etc. Now, these things are actually moderated by, firstly, I track what I'm spending. I track what I'm earning. It's a really simple thing. So in my bag at the back there, I've got a freezer bag full of receipts, and it goes with me everywhere. So when I buy something, I get a receipt for everything. It goes in the bag. And I've got them labelled January, February, March, April, May, June, July. It's old school stuff. It should be on a spreadsheet, but there's something visceral about looking at receipts. It's the old part of your brain that you're trying to engage here, right? You track it. At that point, you then set targets. So if I'm saying I want to spend a bit less, you've got to set a target for that, right? Then you have to start trim. You trim what you've got. And then you've got to train So JP says, I want to run a marathon, I want to race. Well, I'm not going to do any training. How's that going to work out? It's the same with money. Money is like a muscle. You've got to work it. Get it? And the last one, none of it goes for squat if you don't do this last one. Okay? And you're going, what is it? What is it? Look, I'm still getting people going, when are we going to hand money back? You've got to take action. So you have a great day today and you'll come away with a lot of theory and a lot of notes, pointless if you don't take action. And you know what? This is the thing that the science tells us. Out of today and out of yesterday, pick one big goal and two benign goals. You want the benign ones because you want to develop some muscle. You want to get some runs on the board. So pick two little things and then pick a bigger one to work with. Get it? Get the idea? Yes. None of it takes place if you don't do this, if you don't take the action. So having read all those books and done the courses and looked at a lot of websites, I couldn't really find any more things around money. That's it. Now, if you go into a normal library, and I'm a big fan of your local library, for example, right? And if you read the books that are in the local library, they will cover those 10 things, but not all in the same book. So you might get 8 of those, or you might get 6 of them, or you might get 4 of them, right? But not all 10. So on that basis, I wrote a book called The Money Chimp. And you'll see how old I am now. I'm going to reveal how old I am. See if you can get this one. I'll read you the story. It's not a good look, man. Okay. I remember Christmas 1965 because I got a fantastic game called A Barrel of Monkeys. Do you remember Barrel of Monkeys? Yes, yeah. From Santa. Okay? Don't tell me Santa doesn't exist, okay? That as popular as now it was then, you get a little barrel containing 12 plastic monies with big curly arms, and the idea is you've got to pick up one, then the other, then the other. I think my record is about 6, but the guy who actually has got the world record for this is a doctor, a neuroscientist in Chicago, who can pick up all 12 in about 2 minutes. It's a great game. But money's just like that game. It's a game of skill. The rules are incredibly easy. Pick up the monkeys. Okay? So the rules for money are these ones. I'm going to give you the 4 rules, so get ready to write them. You getting? You having fun?
Yes.
Good. Okay, here's the 4 rules, and I'm going to explain science for you. So rule number 1, grow up.
Oh.
Frickin' grow up.
I like.
Right? Money is a grown-up's game. It's not a kid's game. And a lot of you treat it like you're a kid. Impulse control. I just can't hold back. Grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Get it?
Yes.
Yep.
So you've got to pay attention when you're playing a kid's game. I want that, and I'm going towards it. No, this is how some people do life. They go, I want that, but I can't. And they get that way. What's that about? Do you want it or not? It's binary. Do you want the success or not? Well, go for it. That's the direction you go. That's what you're learning here, right? Okay, so number 1, grow up. Number 2, spend less than you earn. There's books and books and books and books, but it comes down to this: spend less than you earn. If you're in business, earn more than you spend. It's the same rule. If you're in business, earn a lot more than you spend. But if you're on a salary somewhere, spend less than you earn. So, for example, when I first got married, we were both out of university, we were poor as church mice, and my wife and I, we used to walk up the beach, we would buy fish and chips, and we'd walk up the beach and we'd play a game called Let's Pretend. Let's pretend we had money. Let's pretend we had this. Let's pretend we lived in a nice house. And we would just paint that picture and talk about it. Every Saturday we would walk up the beach and play this game. Most of what we pretended came true. Get it? But the way it worked in my household, and I'm talking about after tax, after you've paid your tax, is whatever amount we got, the very first thing we did was save 10%. So rule number 3 is save at least 10%. Now the reality is, for some of you, you've got to spend a lot more than, save a lot more than that, but 10% is a really good place to start, purely because it appeals to the part of the brain that is checking whether you're taking life seriously or not. Do you really want this or not? There's a part of your brain that says, do you want it or not? And if you fart around with it, what happens is your brain goes, no, you're just not serious enough. We'll come back when you're ready. We'll come back when you're serious about this. Get it? We'll come back when you're serious. You don't want it bad enough. You just don't want it enough. Right? So rule number 1, what was it? Grow up. Number 2, spend less than you earn. Right? That talks about impulse control and the ability to delay gratification. It means live within your means. Okay, Charles Dickens wrote, you get £20 and your expenses are £20 1 shilling, misery. £19 whatever shillings, happiness. You spend less than you earn, right? Okay, save at least 10%. And get out of credit card debt as fast as you possibly can. A couple of weeks ago, I spoke to 2 people about credit card. These are really smart, savvy, professional people. One of them had £53,000 on his credit card. The other one had £17,000, which was spent over Christmas. And banks love the fact that you'll do that.
Yes.
Right? Can you imagine you get a statement with £53,000 on your credit card? Got it? Okay. The last one, what was it? What was the first one? Grow up.
Spend less.
Spend less.
Save at 10%.
So let's get out of credit card debt faster. That was the 4th one. Get it?
Yes.
Now, when I'm talking to my daughter, I put all that in there. I've just given you don't need to buy the book, but you should, right? It's a tenner. It's probably the best £10 you'll ever spend in your life, right? So a lot of people said, well, what happens, which ones am I strong at and which ones aren't I good at? So I created a quiz that you can take, and I think we've got the link up here. Oh no, it's not there. Here's how we'll do the test. Here's how we're going to do the test, right? If you buy the book, right, and you get a purchase for it, send it to JP and he'll send, oh yeah, great, that's it. He'll send you a link and you can do the test. The test is £25. It sells all over the planet. And it tells you exactly where you need to put the spotlight in these things here. It tells you exactly. And it gives you a really detailed 20-page report about how your relationship with money, what it looks like. Does that make sense? Okay, quickly, take 30 seconds, turn to the person next to you. What are you getting so far? Okay, so it's really important that the synergies in this room are really amazing. It's really important that you actually lean into your community and talk about how you're developing this. It's even better, as I've seen, is if you actually get in a little group, buy the book and then just read the book together, and then you read a section of it and then talk about that. Right? Because this is not a book on theory of money, it's just packed full of stuff. So to give you an example, a mate of mine was a pastor at a church, and he said, can you come and talk to my young people about money? I said, yeah, and we did a 3-month, we repeated that 4 times because I wanted to test that the ideas worked, right? And for example, 2 of the people in that church were actually session musicians in Amy Winehouse's band, right? And massive debt. Within 90 days, they were debt-free.
Wow.
Okay? There's some really great case studies. People say, I haven't got any money. If I look at closely what you spend your money on and track it. I had a guy who's buying cigarettes at £9.30, is it?
Sometimes over 10. Yeah.
Yep, right. I said, how many do you smoke? He said, I do 5 a week. You multiply that by 12, that's how much money. He's got plenty of money. He goes and does shouts drinks, 180 quid on a Friday night. That's nearly £9,000. If you equate that into Australian money, that's nearly a deposit on a small apartment. Get it? So it's not juju that I'm trying to get across here, it's really grounded down to earth stuff. So with my daughter, I said, are you spending less? She said, yeah. I said, are you saving at least 10%? She said, yeah. I said, great. Okay. So this year, she had enough to put on a deposit on a house after 4 years. Her and her fiancé have just bought a property. Get it? And the thing that makes it work is not the ideas, but it's this ability to delay the gratification. I want it now. I know people who say, I've got to have this latest thing, this latest shoes, this outfit, whatever it is. I've got to have it. But you've got to delay that gratification. You've got to know, what do I want more? So JP is constantly talking about what is it you want more? And you've got to lean into that. So let me just finish on this point because I've got 10 minutes more to go. So did you get some value out of that?
Yes.
Trust me, I've done the hard yards for you. You don't need to go looking. Those are the big 10 topics in money.
Yeah.
But you won't find books that have got all of them. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? In terms of like, where would you class like a student loan? In terms of, would you class it as debt? Or would you class it as like an investment?
No, it's not a debt. Student loan's not a debt.
But like in terms of like paying it off, because like...
Yeah, but you don't have to. You don't have to pay it off rapidly.
No, I know you don't have to pay it off rapidly, but like, just if you're looking at it in this sense, like how would you treat it?
As an investment. Yeah, I did a 5-year psych degree. It cost me a fortune. But my thing wasn't about focusing on how do I pay the debt off. The thing was, how do I make a lot of money?
Is a mortgage a debt or an investment?
What do you think? What would Robert Kiyosaki say? He'd say it's a debt, but it's a debt if you live in it. But but if you want to sell it, it becomes an asset. See, yeah.
Business gone into liquidation, left with a personal guarantee from the bank for 350k. What's your viewpoint on that?
That's a longer conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been in debt $250,000 and traded out of it.
Okay. Thank you.
So you can be sunk by stuff like that, but you just say, so what? You can either go bankrupt or you say, no, I'm just going to double my efforts and hard work, trade out of it, which I did.
Okay.
Otherwise, you may as well just lie down and take a beating, take a bit of a kick and let life kick you around a bit, right? It's all about decisions and choices, but let me just finish on this point because this is the bit where I'm just going to take no prisoners. You ready? So do you want high performance or not? Why are you here today? Unless you want some sort of edge. Get it? So this is again, psychology. You can draw this, it's a circle, okay? And I want you to think about when you listen and talk about money, when I listen to people talk about business, when they talk about sex, when they talk about relationships, when they talk about health, it's the same conversation over and over again. It's the same conversation. Okay? So firstly, in this area here, what you'll hear are things like, I can't, I must, I should, sorta, coulda, you can't make me. I know people say, you can't make me make a lot of money. It's like they're trying to test. If you don't want to make a lot of money, if you don't want to just balance out. Incidentally, I'll just give you a figure so that you can just be totally relieved on this, right? Okay. Does having money make you happy? Yes or no?
No.
Yes, of course it does. Oh, for God's sake, you're in the right room.
I was
Look at all these people who was happy when they got a lot of money. Yes. So don't crap me. It's you. Yes, money makes you very, very happy. Sorry.
That's right.
It makes you very happy. We know that, right? We know that money makes you happy to a point. To a point. Okay? So the magic number, if you're in the US, and the magic number if you're in the UK, right? There's a point where, I'm happy, making lots of money, and then it plateaus. There's a point where it plateaus, where you just, if you doubled the amount of money you got, you wouldn't be double the happiest, right? So the point here in the US is 75,000. 75,000. In the UK, that translates to about 56.8. So if you've got about 56.8, you're pretty happy because it's relative to the living wage in the UK, which is about 26.7. That's what the living wage is. So if you've got 56, you're pretty happy. But 112 isn't going to make you double the happiness. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So that's a nice target to hit for. If you build up assets to about that, trust me, you're going to feel pretty satisfied. The starting point for that is carry cash.
But then this number you have it on the bank account?
Safe.
Yeah,
Safe.
cash.
Okay.
Cash. You know what cash is, don't you?
No tax.
No tax, after tax. Okay, so hearing this is what you're actually hearing, right? What you're hearing is kids in control of the money. I can't. That's a kid. See my little 4-year-old grandson. I can't, Grandpa, I can't. That's okay. Come on. Grandpa's got this. It's grown-ups' work. I want, I wish. Grandpa's got it, mate. See, it's grown-ups' work. Money is grown-ups' work. Okay? Not adults' work. Because adult is about chronological age. Okay? And I know a lot of adults who are hopeless with money, rubbish at it, because they treat money like kids. They approach it like that. This is where all your wishes, I need, I want, I just want, I want it now. That's a terrible too. I want an ice cream. I want a muffin. I want this. See, that's kids. You've got to listen to the language. So a lot of the I can't, I must is kids talk. It's the kids talking. Who here has kids? Who here would let a child drive their car? Who here would let a child handle kitchen knives? See, why?
Not responsible enough.
Because you need a grown-up in the car, and you need a grown-up in the kitchen, and you need a grown-up managing the money. It's grown-ups' work. Managing money and growing money is grown-ups' work, not kids' work. Kids are meant to enjoy going out with their grandpa, getting an ice cream, going to the footy. They don't worry about where the money came from. Don't worry, mate, I've got it. This is grandpa's work, okay? I've got you, okay? My daughter, sweetheart, it's dad's job. You just relax, it's dad's job. I've got it. It's grown-ups' work. Get it? Grown-ups' work. So the grown-up kicks in about here somewhere. And what you listen to, when you know you're on the grown-up choice, grown-up path, is you're starting to say, I decide. It's the language of I decide. I'm making decisions. I decide that's where I'm going. Grow up. Frickin' grow up. Make decision. Yeah? It's decisions. What do you decide? What do you want? Decide. Look up the etymology of that word. Decidere, to consider. Okay? I decide. That's adults. That's grown-ups language. I decide. I decide we're going to the movies. I decide I'm having, what do you want? Chicken or beef at a restaurant? Make a decision. I don't know what I want. Who's ordering? A kid. Right? Okay, over here is up a notch because I choose. Choices. So you listen to your language. Oh, I choose. And then you get this point up here, which I call it, if you like, it's a factual positive affirmation. So these are, if you like, negative affirmations about life, you know. But this is a factual positive affirmation. I'm a money magnet. And I soften the am bit. I am a money magnet. I'm not. It's not up for debate. Right? I'm not here to ask you whether I'm good at making money or not. I know I'm good at making money. I am. Get it? Get the certainty?
Yeah.
See? I am good at this. I'm good at looking after my health. I'm very responsible with my grandchildren. Get it? My daughter-in-law says, can you take the boys down to soft play? I said, yep, no worries. Does she worry about how I'm going to get there? Does she worry whether I can change the little 1-year-old or the 3-month-old? No. She just knows it'll happen because she knows I'm good with grandchildren. Get it? I'm good with money. Okay, 10 seconds. Turn to the person next to you. What's your big takeaway? And then we're going to wrap up.
Right.
So here's the question. You know, they say that the truth is told in the toilets at a workshop. Or they're told on the breaks. And I think you're going for a break, is that right? Okay, so just time out for a moment. Just listen in. Good. So, listen, what I've done is I've stirred you up a lot. Okay, really stirred you up a lot. So here's the thing, as I said to you before, the Money Chimp, it's a tenner. It's probably, take action on it. I'm not here to flog a book. I'm not down on my knees for 10 quid. The reason I put this out here is because I'm trying to reach as many people. Chronic debt is a major problem in this country. In fact, it is worldwide. Okay? And this is one of the better... No, I'd love to give it to you. This is my only copy.
Oh. £20 if you sign it for me.
There you go.
Do you want it or not?
No, it's all right.
Okay.
What I want you to do, this is really proactive. I want you to go online and buy it because I want the ranking, right? And also, and I want you to leave. Actually, the reason I don't want to give this is the one that I did for my daughter. It's the first copy for my daughter. That's why I don't want to give it to you. Okay. So go online, get one of those, and then we've got the link here. So JP, he's cut you a break. He's given you the link already. So if you want to know there, right, read the book, then go do the quiz. Okay, so the quiz is 25 quid, and I've given you a free link to it, right? So you've got if you buy the book, you've got a 250% return on investment. Okay, I get emails every day from parents mainly who've got adult children who say this book has changed my kids' lives. Okay, it's really down to earth. It's like me. It's just good old common sense stuff. Okay, right now, hand the money back. Now the happy people just went. Good stuff. And if you then want to go up a notch, you can. That's my other book, Starting, right? That's about business. It's how you think about business. This is the way you look at your business as an investment, look at your life, your money as an investment, look at your business as an investment. Get the idea? Okay. I just want to say you are in very, very capable hands with JP. Okay? Yeah, very capable hands, right? You're dealing with a heavy hitter, you're dealing with a guy with an amazing A game. But it's pointless if you don't leverage what he's telling you, okay? Get the idea?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. God bless.
Wasn't that good? Who ever thought that a talk about money would be fun?
Excuse me.
Crikey!
So I hope